Senator Begich, do you need to
Sorry.
go ahead? You sure?
Is there objection? You can let Senator from South Carolina.
Thank you very much, Madam Chairman. I've been a military lawyer for over 30 years. It's been one of the highlights of my life to serve in the Air Force. And during the debate about these techniques, I was very proud of the fact that every military lawyer came out on the side that the techniques in question were not who we are and what we want to be. We are one of the leading voices of the Geneva Convention. We have stood by the Geneva Convention since its inception, and I am convinced that the techniques in question violate the Geneva Convention, and I'm also convinced that they were motivated by fear of another attack. Put yourself in the shoes of the people responsible for defending the country right after 9/11. We'd been hit hard, and everybody thought something else was coming. And as we rounded these guys up, there was a sense of urgency and a commitment to never let it happen again that generated this program. Who knew what, when? I don't know. All I can tell you is that the people involved believed they were trying to defend the country and what they were doing was necessary. Did they get some good information? Probably so. Has it been a net loser for us as a country? Absolutely so. All I can say is that the techniques in question were motivated by fear of another attack, and people at the time thought this was the best way to defend the nation. I accept that on their part. But as a nation, I hope we have learned the following, that in this ideological struggle, good versus evil, we need to choose good. There's no shortage of people who will cut your heads off, and the techniques in question are nowhere near what the enemies of this nation and radical Islam would do to people under their control. There is no comparison. The comparison is between who we are and what we want to be. In that regard, we made a mistake. No one is going to jail because they should not, because the laws in question, laws that existed at the time of this program, were to be generous, vague. So I spent about a year of my life with Senator McCain working with the Bush administration and colleagues on the Democratic side to come up with the Detainee Treatment Act, which clearly puts people on notice what you can and can't do. Going forward, we fixed this problem. How do I know it's a problem? I travel. I go to the Mideast a lot. I go all over the world, and it was a problem for us. Whether we like it or not, we're seen as the good guys. I like it. And sometimes good people make mistakes. We have corrected the problem. We have interrogation techniques now that I think can protect the nation and live within our values. The one thing I want to stress to my colleagues is that this is a war of an ideological nature. There will be no capital to conquer. We're not going to take Tokyo, and we're not going to take Berlin. There's no Air Force to shoot down. There's no Navy to sink. You're fighting a radical, extreme ideology that's motivated by hate. And in their world, if you don't agree with their religion, you're no longer a human being. The only way we can possibly defeat this ideology is to offer something better. The good news for us is that we stand for something better. We stand for due process. We stand for humane treatment. We stand for the ability to have a say when you're accused of something. Our enemies stand for none of that. That is their greatest weakness. And our greatest strength is to offer a better way. And when you go to Anbar province and you go to other places in the Mideast that have experienced life under ISIS, ISIL, and Al-Qaeda, the reaction has almost been universal. We don't like this. And when America comes over the hill and they see that flag, they know help is on the way. To the CIA officers who serve in the shadows, who intermingle with the most notorious in the world, who are always away from home, never knowing if you're going back, thank you. There's a debate about, is this report accurate, line by line? I don't know. Is this the definitive answer to the program's problems? I don't know. But I do know the program hurt our country. And those days are behind us. And the good guys air their dirty laundry. I wish we had waited because the world is in such volatile shape right now. I do fear this report will be used by our enemies. But I guess there's no good time to do things like this. So to those who helped prepare the report, I understand where you're coming from. To those on my side who believe that we've gone too far, I understand that too. But this has always been easy for me. I've been too associated with the subject matter for too long. Every time our nation cuts a corner, and every time we act out of fear and abandon who we are, we always regret it. That's happened forever. This is a step toward righting a wrong. To our enemies, take no comfort from the fact that we've changed our program. We're committed to your demise. We're committed to your incarceration and killing you on the battlefield if necessary. To our friends, because we choose a different path, don't mistake that for weakness. What we're doing today is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of the ultimate strength, that you can self-correct, that you can reevaluate, and you can do some soul searching, and you can come out with a better product. The tools available to our intelligence community today, over time, will yield better results, more reliable results. The example we're setting will, over time, change the world. Because to defeat radical Islam, you have to show separation. Today is a commitment to show separation. And the techniques that they employ to impose their will have been used for thousands of years. And they're always, over time, rejected. The values that we stand for, tolerance, humane treatment of everyone, whether you agree with them or not, has also stood the test of time. And over time, we will win and they will lose. And today is about making that time period shorter, because the sooner America can reattach herself to who she is, the worse off the enemy will be. Thank you, and I yield.